What's up everybody? We're here again at the Grand Yazici Marmaris Palace in Icmeler. Come with us for our guided tour 2025 to see what's changed, what's been added on, what's different, what the pros are, what the cons are, and how we feel this hotel could suit your family needs.
And before you skip the video or go even further into it, this trip is our third time here, so this is like our third actual review of it. And this holiday, there's actually been 5 different couples that are here the same time as us who watched our previous video and booked the hotel just because of that video. So a lot of them were saying how good the video was and how realistic it is of the hotel. So
we do say that it's an honest review, so it's not biased or supported in any way. We flew here with Jet2, but there's loads of other companies that do offer this holiday as part of their service. And again, the hotel has been fantastic in supporting us what we do, but we do think that we need to be honest, open and upfront, because for many of you it's around dealing with bookings that are honest, that allow you to feel like we would feel when we came here. As Kate's already mentioned, it's our third trip, and that sort of speaks for itself. But if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, give us a like and a share, and that all helps the channel grow, and hopefully we can give you more travel reviews in more locations.
yeah, so we'll turn around, and this is where you come in, the entrance road down here.
There are loads of options in terms of your transfers as well. So for many of you, you may come on the package holiday transfer, which is usually by a larger coach, or like ourselves, we've used a private transfer on 2 of the occasions we've visited, just to help with ease in terms of time and comfortableness because of having the children with us. But you arrive here, this fantastic foyer and lobby where you're meted by an amazing team who will help you grab your bags and your cases and help unload them before you walk into what can only be described as a jaw-dropping reception. Many of you who've watched the channel before will have heard recently that the hotel was victim to a fire, and that may be some of your reasons for wanting to check up on what's happened and what's changed since then. So one of the biggest things you'll notice when you enter the lobby in terms of comparisons to our last review is that the decor has been not only brightened and replaced. You will see the installation of the large new sprinkler system, which if you have a little look around you can see is being applied to all areas of the lobby. The lobby boasts numerous information boards depending on your travel operator. For example, we have TUI. Again, he'll tell you when your rep's going to be in sight, and as is our holiday Jet2, telling us about Cenk, what time he's here, what's he offering, his your ability to check in on your return trip home, not that you want to as soon as you arrive, but all that information is here, along with the main reception desk. So you've got the main reception where you'll be guided towards when you arrive to check in. Staff will give you your wristbands. And this time we have lovely bright red ones. That is usually an indication for the staff of how many times you have been. So we've had these now because we've been here 3 times. You've got this lovely bar reception area now. This is open 24/7. So you can come here and have hot and cold beverages. Alcoholic beverages all included in your package, but again it's a nice little thing to have access to. So if you are an early riser, you can grab yourself a cappuccino, hot chocolate, cafe latte, iced coffees, or even an alcoholic beverage if you so wish at 7 o'clock in the morning. There are staff available on site throughout the morning, again for any of your queries, and the area is air conditioned, cool, airy and bright. It's a great little area to sit as a family, but it also allows you to come out of some of the intense heat. If you are lucky enough, you may see some of the furry guests. Good morning. Oh, that one's a feisty one. Doesn't like people. This lower lobby section here is usually where your holiday reps will be located at their allotted times to help you with things like bookings, trips, information, any queries you may have in terms of your accommodation. And we're going to go out onto one of the main veranda balconies give you a little bit of a wonderful view. This is showing you the top seating area for the main restaurant, which we'll take you down to, but it overlooks the majority of the pools and the seating areas within the hotel. There's plenty of soft seating spaces, so should you wish to take some comfort from the heat and the intense sun, you can come down here and enjoy a little bit of a rest. You've got toilets located on all of the floors, again for general use, and everything's really well signposted, showing you where all of the separate sections of the hotel are located. We're going to give you a little tour of most of those, if not all of those. Something to bear in mind is that the hotel does boast lifts to access all of the floors. However, there are really well guided staircases and lobbies. So the information boards can be located throughout the hotel, but gives you things, for example, such as timings. For example, in this main restaurant, you've got breakfast between 7 and 10:30, 12:30 and 2 for your lunch, and dinner is between 6:30 and 9 o'clock. If when you're booking you do have any allergies, staff will ask you on check-in, and that will give them the opportunity to identify you to the other staff with identified coloured bands. But this is just a selection of the cold options at breakfast. The range is immense: cheeses, olives, pickles. Alongside all of your fresh compotes, your salads, your granolas, your yogurts, your preserves. And when in Turkey, obviously, you've got to sample a little bit of the Turkish delight. I think we mentioned on the last video, but should you have a special occasion while you're here, if you do just identify the staff, there is the facility to have your very own SpongeBob SquarePants cake made. As you can see, everything's well presented and it's regularly topped up, so please don't panic and worry thinking I must be down there bright and early. If you are an early riser, that's great, but if not, there is the facility to just pop along, as I say, right up until 10:30 with a great selection of fresh fruit, vegetables and other items including cereal, pastries, breads, sweetbreads. It looks a little bit like you've jumped into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. And then this takes you into one of the main seating areas. So this is an internal seating area where you can select your own table, either prior to selecting your breakfast or after. There's always ample seating, especially on a breakfast time. However, evenings can have a really peak rush. What an amazing view to have your breakfast by. Sunrise is over the jetty in the hotel, so if you do enjoy an early morning stroll, swim, that is an option. Tea, coffee, fresh juices are all served from this main bar area. Sometimes at peak times of the serving, you might find it difficult for staff to bring your drinks, but they're able to be accessed whenever you wish. We've got all of your breads, muffins, etc. available. And then you've got a really good range of pastries and breads again to start your day off well. And then this is your hot food station. So on an evening from 6:30, you'll enter through the door, we came through there, and then all of your meals are prepared within these tureens that are heated. On a night time, there will be staff behind this section serving and preparing fresh elements of your evening meal throughout. And on a morning, there is a team behind here that will prepare you freshly cooked omelettes, fried eggs, or even just a chucky boiled egg. Loads of different things to keep you stocked up for your day and prepped for your day ahead. Again, alongside your salads, cheeses and meats. Who doesn't love a good toasty station? Great little addition for you if you fancy just a toasty on a morning. Again, with your own panini press for you to use and access as you wish. And then this section here, on an evening and a lunchtime, is where all of the fresh breads, doughs, pizzas are prepared. You have things like, I'm going to see if I can see this, Turkish bagels, borek with beef and borek with cheese. These are a really little lovely savoury snack. But as you can see, it's all prepared in-house by the staff team. So you can even stand and watch them, so should you wish. Then you open it onto these double doors. Breakfast, as I say, starts at 7. We are down here quite early. But as you can see, there's ample seating. There's no need to rush or panic. And this station here, on an evening, at present, this year is set up as a pasta station. So there is fresh pastas prepared by the staff team all throughout the evening service. So from 6:30 until 9. Personally, we suggest coming down no later than 8:15 to 8:30, because obviously the staff team do then start to take everything down a notch. But there is always food available at this time. And this is your main large pool, family pool, describe it as?
Yeah, big family pool.
I will say this area here is very shady, so if you are bringing younger ones and prefer to be in the shade, this is probably one of the pool areas you'd want to access. It's very accessible in terms of ramps, so for any wheelchair users, this is a really good pool because you can access it via lift and ramp facility. And then we're going to head down from this top eating area, and we're going to head down into what we find one of the best bar areas in the hotel. So this is known as the Stone Bar. The team here are absolutely phenomenal. And again, with your all-inclusive or your all-inclusive plus facility, your drinks are available here between 11 a.m. and midnight. Serving a wide range of cocktails, soft beverages, beers, all made and either brought to your table, or you can just walk up and access it yourself. There's a great range of fruit juices, spirits. As you can see, the whole area is fantastically clean, kept well. But the bar is always fully stocked, shall we say. Your draft beers, your draft soft drinks are available alongside fresh juices, bottled water, mineral and sparkling. And then you head on down again to another level. So this is where I mentioned earlier, for those people who may struggle with walking, there are a lot of steps. There's dual staircases here that can bring you down from the main restaurant area, with a lovely shaded area for those of you who want to grab some shade during the intense heat. Depending on the time of year that you come, the big thing we've noticed is the heat difference, isn't it? Yeah. We're looking at temperatures averagely above 40 at this time of year, which is back end of July, very beginning of August. And then we're going to take you back into an inside location. So where we're going now is, again, there's toilets facilities But you'll notice the hotel's spa and beauty section. So the spa offers a range of services to you while you're here at an additional charge. Arcadia Life Spa. So the spa will offer things such as your Turkish bath and hammam, your massages, your facial and body treatments, and your hydrofacials. It's open between 9 and 8 p.m. And just a helpful little tip.
And the gym's in there too.
Oh yeah, the gym's all the way through, but as you can see, it's clearly not open yet because it's too early in the day. You can use the spa facility on an evening on your checkout to freshen up before you travel home. So at the moment, checkout in the hotel is 11 a.m. unless you were to ask for an extension, which would come at a fee. But we've found on the past 2 occasions, and today, for example, we will be coming away from the water areas at about 4 p.m. And inside the spa is a shower facility, a change room facility, so it allows you to freshen up before you transfer home. Again, it's all free of charge, so you don't necessarily need to pay any charges for your room to have an extension on that. And then behind us here, you have a really informative and detailed board of everything that's happening here at the hotel on a daily basis. So it tells you things like...
10:15, that's when the gym opens up.
Yep. And there's regular activities carried out around the pool, such as darts and water polo. The Mini Kids Club is accessible for children between the ages of 4 and 12. And they have their own little things going on there. And that'll tell you what's happening in terms of keeping your little ones busy. You'll find most of the information is in dual languages. And there's a range of evening activities which does rotate. So there's been the acrobats, there was a singer on last night, there's another acrobatic Istanbul section on tonight. You've got dancing, traditional dancing and dances, all going on. And then you come again underneath here, we mentioned we've got the hair and beauty. The team in there can cater for things like foot massages, nail treatments, hair wraps. And then you've got a little photography booth, which you can speak to the team there about whether you'd want some professional photography carried out. With this service, our opinion would be to make sure you're getting a price up front and you know what you're getting, because it can run away with you because you see all these brilliant images, but it's a nice little reminder of your holiday here. There is a business room, which I think for us we found it was just a location to, you know, open your laptops should you be working whilst you're away. Just a little desk station with some cables and power slots, so it allows you to keep your devices charged. And then this here shows you the lifts. Now there's 3 lifts, and that'll gain you access right from where we are now, which is the ground floor -2 for the shops, right up to the main reception and the lobby. Then you've got the 3 internal floors of the hotel. You might, when you're doing some research, look at the sister hotel for this, which is the Grand Turban?
Yeah,
Thermal Turban, yeah. But again, it's not the same hotel, it's a different sister hotel. You've got an indoor seating area when you do have some sporting events on. And you've got an on-site doctor, and if you need any medical attention, you can just contact reception and that facility is available. We've noticed the doctor here most nights throughout the night, right up until the early hours of the morning. You've got an on-site little store for your souvenirs, you know, that fridge magnet that you want to take back with you, and you've got a store here that sells some items that might help your holiday. For example, if you forget to pack your bikini. Change this year we've noticed is they've brought the pool table inside. So last year this was located next to the stone bar, and this year they've brought it inside and changed the time so it's available from 10 till 5, with the bowls and the queues being accessible from this new internal coffee lobby, which I think is quite a nice addition. It's very quiet, and again you can get all of your beverages in here, so you've got your coffees, juices, beer should you want it in this area. But it's a nice little sheltered covered area. As you can see, everything's kept really clean and tidy. So as you can see, there's like loads of little nooks and crannies for you to come and sit, you know, recharge your batteries, or just look at a view like that. There is an on-site market, so this is one of the only little top-up stores in the hotel. What we would say is that if you're able to, there are other supermarkets a little bit cheaper than what this is. I think what we found is that this has got a premium price because it's the convenience of being on the hotel site and not having to leave. What I would say is that if you're planning on bringing small ones and you do want inflatables, buy them at home and bring them with you, because the prices here are ironically inflated. The gentleman in the shop will inflate them for you, but you're paying probably double if not triple the price of ordering them online and bringing them with you in your case, so don't get caught out with that. There is things like life jackets and inflatable life floats for your younger ones if you need them. He does take cash, both lira, pound, euro and card. And then probably our most random acquisition in the hotel is that it's got its own leather shop, which in this weather and heat, I don't think anybody wants to be dressed like an Eskimo, but there is some really good quality goods in there should you feel like treating yourself to a new leather jacket. There's a hotel-based silver shop. Again, we've never purchased anything from here, but there is a huge range. One of the things you may notice in this store is that prices are always turned down. You can't really look, just browse and know what you're going to be paying. But as in all of the shops here in Icmeler, it's always worthwhile discussing the prices that they're offering. So as you make your way down here, you'll notice that there's a ramp access here for anybody who's got mobility issues or just finds the stairs a bit of a challenge. They are quite steep, especially if you were using a wheelchair, or if you've got anybody in your party who needs a wheelchair, you'll find those climbs quite intense. Once you're on this level, it's easy to access the rest of the hotel, but there is obviously the ramps to consider. This is your towel station. So when you check in at reception, what will happen is they'll give you your room key, but every member of your party gets allocated a hotel towel card. Now that can be brought here at 9 o'clock in the morning and handed over in exchange for a fresh, clean, dry towel. You then, at the end of your day, can hand in your card and keep your card and bring it back down the next morning. What we've noticed this year is that a lot of guests are replacing the towel on the day so that they've already got their towel, so they don't need to wait until 9 a.m. to get your towel. If you are an early riser and you want to be down here early, you know, that is something you do. It does say, though, it's only one towel at a time. And then this gentleman here, he's not here yet, he will be very soon, offers you daily boat trips. They depart at 10 o'clock from the hotel each day and return back around 5 p.m. Your prices are all literally drawn up for you in pounds, euro, dollar and lira. And as I mentioned, they're going out daily. But should you fancy a private boat trip, definitely speak to him about what he can do in terms of price.
And then up that way is where the bungalows are. So if you situate in the bungalows, you're up there.
That was where we stayed on the last vlog, so you'll notice that from our room over. And then this is the main area that we find probably the most quirky. Here you've got a converted van, but everything's really, really well signposted, so you can't really get lost, but it is quite a big site to explore. This van here is your bubble tea, iced tea, milkshakes, and this is available from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. daily with no limitations, alongside the coffee corner, and again that opens at 9 a.m. and doesn't close until midnight. It serves a huge range of handmade hot beverages. So although there are some machine dispensers around the hotel, these guys here, the patisseries, are making it on a regular basis. And then this section here is known as Cookie Corner. So in all of these cabinets, you will find throughout the day fresh baked goods such as cookies, bagels, the cheese flatbreads, pain au chocolats, enough to keep you fueled throughout the day. And then right next to there, you've got the ice cream station. So the ice cream station offers the opportunity to come and try the latest ranges. Open from 11 till 5. That is a change this year. It opened last year at, I think it was 10, it was open till 6. It's just reduced its time of serving. But again, you can come up as many times as you like. There's no restrictions. But again, a lovely little covered area if you want to come and enjoy an ice cream. So we're going to take you down now through the Pine Bar. There are multiple bars across the site, so it's quite easy to get lost off at where you are, but everything always leads down to the main jetty. This area hosts a great range of entertainment on an evening. And this section here is probably one of the biggest noticeable upgrades to last year in terms of bands, live performances, things like that may take place on here. And then the new acquisition of the new Pine Bar. Again, really well stocked. Range of cocktails, beverages, soft and alcoholic. You know, with your cocktails for non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages being available. This one opens at 11, I do believe, for all of your soft drinks and alcoholic drinks. And then as we walk around this way, this section of the hotel during the day is operated as a snack bar. So it serves, for example, doner kebabs, chicken kebab wraps, burgers, a mixed crispy basket. So that's got things like onion rings, chips, chicken nuggets, fresh margarita pizzas, which are really, really lovely, green salad. Again, available between 11 and 3. Biggest change to that this year is that it's been reduced in its time of serving. So again, it can get very, very busy. Around 2:30, we noticed a massive influx in numbers of people that were going up there, because then food service doesn't start again until 6:30. And then this is the jetty. It's our favourite place in the hotel. You've got a bar down here that serves your slushes, your coffees, your teas, your waters, your soft beverages, and a beer. The jetty area here obviously is phenomenal open space. Can and does get busy. Morning. You've got decked area. So what's our thoughts on this year, Keith?
A bit worse than last year.
So we found this year that this could probably do with a bit of an upkeep. There's quite a lot of the slats that are loose, potentially dangerous and a big trip risk. It could just be down to wear and tear. Personally, our opinion would be that this could have been all done when the hotel was closed for a period of time, because on numerous occasions we've seen and been victim to the wonky slat. It does get hot. I would always advise wearing some sort of shoes and footwear on here. And then you've got your access down into the sea. This jetty this year we've noticed is that every set of 2 beds does have an umbrella, which last year there was a few that didn't. And then if you're a sun worshipper, just a notice there. Some of these, for example, just a bit of a slip risk. They all have the beds have an umbrella, but if you do enjoy shade, it can be difficult to get it on the jetty because the sun literally is available all of the time. We found coming down a little bit earlier is always the best way.
And if you want shade throughout most of the day, best bet is to be over this side here. So we found that when you're over there, the sun obviously comes up from behind you and sets over that way. but most of the time it's in the shade. So
Probably, and again, it's open to opinion. We're down here now at 7 a.m. And there are already towels on the beds. Biggest thing we've noticed this year around that is that there's been a huge increase in beds being kept for long periods of the day with nobody accessing them. So we've spent every day bar one of this trip on the jetty. And on a couple of occasions I haven't been able to get beds because you don't want to have to be up at 6 o'clock in the morning. But when you've got a view like this for the rest of your day, you sometimes do. It's sometimes worth the while coming down this early. You can see the whole of the bay from this point, and then the mountains behind the back of the hotel. The whole of the hotel is surrounded by pine trees. That noise you can hear is crickets. That pretty much goes all day, every day. You'd probably go home wanting a bit of white noise playing in the background because you get so used to it. Again, the access into the ocean from this section of the jetty is by stairs. There's 3 or 4 locations of stairs. This section over here is deeper, and therefore when you get in you won't be able to feel the bottom. But if you were to access it from one of the side runs, you can stand up, put your feet down and be able to walk. It doesn't go too deep, but there's a great amount of wildlife in here, a great amount of fish, things and what's going on. Thank you, Mamel.
Thank you. How are you?
Very good. When you're here, this is the guy to see if you want he'll come along, he keeps the place clean, tidy, keeps everybody happy. Give Mamel a bit of a shout out when you come up. Give it a wave, tell him how wonderful it is.
No English.
He likes to use Google Translate to talk to you. We'll see you later on. The jetties again have got like multiple beds. Our personal recommendation would be to add more. Would you agree?
yeah,
It's a really popular area, and sometimes it can just be so popular that you can't get down here quick enough. There are hundreds and hundreds of other beds though along the side. I think the thing we've noticed is that the gravel area, is that how you would describe it?
yeah, it's a bit more coarse than sand.
It can get everywhere. If it's not your cup of tea, getting covered in sand, then it might be worthwhile staying up near the pools, which we'll take you up to. Lifeguards are here. You've got lifeguards between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Yeah, look at those temperatures. 7 o'clock in the morning, it's 34 degrees. You've got shower facilities.
On the bar over here, we have a guy called Jan, and he comes out all throughout the day delivering beers and soft drinks.
He likes to encourage a beer at 10 o'clock in the morning. You've got washing facilities for both your feet, but you've also got some showers and some changing stations, and there's a few of those located across this run. Security is on site all of the time, so this area here is monitored by the security team. This pathway, that way will lead you to Marmaris. So if you come out the hotel and say to you, right, you go to Marmaris, you come out your hotel and go left, it takes you down to Icmeler. Again, there's information boards telling you where you are, and it'll also give you a small map indication of where you are within the hotel. So we are presently here, and as we mentioned, if you head off along this path, which is really well shaded, it'll take you to Marmaris. If you go along this way, it takes you to Icmeler. First aid available all the time. Flags are good to be aware of, so it lets you know what your swimming conditions are. Just bear that in mind. But like I say, your lifeguards are 9 till 6 each day. So when you come out of that section of the jetty and you take a short walk, you'll come to a section that we as yet haven't accessed but would love to. You heard that little ring in there. We're walking on a double-laned pathway. The slimmer side is usually for things that are like bikes, scooters, e-scooters, those three-wheeler scooters. The larger side is usually for pedestrians. Halfway through it will swap, so just bear that in mind. As I say, everything's really well kept, clean and tidy. The whole of this walkway is monitored by CCTV as well, so for security, especially if you come with small families, it's ideal. Gates that'll access the hotel itself, but the main gate that we've just shown you is the access point really. People like to get up early here. It's only 7 o'clock and you know, there's lots of people out and about, not only walking, exercising, you know, maybe making their way to work, but there's a lot of guests up as well. So as I say, breakfast will be open, so we'll probably go up and see quite a few people. But this little bit here is the water sports section. This is part of the hotel. It's one of the hotel services. Again, it's at an additional charge. Offers a taxi boat service into Icmeler and Marmaris. And this little jetty you can see here with the orange umbrellas is the adults only jetty. Don't know what that is, Pep, do we?
No.
Never had a chance to access that yet. Because we've always come with the children, we couldn't access it. What I will say is that children over the age of 16 can access it, but under the age of 16 they're not allowed, unfortunately. So unless you come with grandparents or other family members and want to rotate it, you're not really going to get the access to that. We're going to be coming up now to the Kiki restaurant. Now this is one of the hotel's a la carte restaurants that with certain bookings you will get an a la carte allocation given to you. You do need to pre-book which restaurant you want to use. There are 3, I do believe. You've got your Italian, you've got your Turkish and you've got your Asian. I would say to book that as soon as you arrive because they are very, very popular. Again, that is also available during the day for light dining, so you can go in, but there's no beachwear available. This is the Kiki restaurant. It's located directly... Key, not Kiki. It's located directly opposite the adults only jetty, which opens... I shall find out when it opens because the times are over here. So this area opens at 8 a.m. has its own bar facility and shaded terraced area alongside a range of beds. There's certainly not the number of beds that you get down on the main jetty, but again, it's ideal for couples who want to escape or people travelling on their own, and that's all part of the service. There's no additional charge for that. You can just come on down and access it as part of your holiday. The walk into Icmeler and into Marmaris is pretty even from where the hotel's located. However, on an evening, it's much more comfortable to take that walk due to the shadiness. During the main peak times of the day, it can be quite intense. And what seems like a nice 35-minute stroll can become quite a workout. So if you are planning on going into either of the towns, you know, remember to stay hydrated, take yourself a bottle of water from the hotel, or even take a water taxi, which is the local boat service, usually charged per person, or the Dalaman, which is the bus service, and that's you can access that from outside the hotel. Relatively cheap, runs really regularly. Service runs on a flag down system, so although in the UK we'd use a bus stop, there are bus stations, but you must flag the buses down and then get on and just tell them where you want to go. If you're a first time traveller, never been before, you can usually ask and they will indicate when it's time for you to get off. But the hotel, should you require it, can organise you a taxi down to any other locations in the area. The view as you walk around back into the hotel, you can see all of the different areas. You can also hire a bike as well, can't you, Keith?
You can. So further along that way, when you're walking towards Icmeler, there's a bike rental place, and I think you can get all the scooters and stuff as well. So sometimes you see the scooters on the side. I think you can scan them, and then you can sort of register and you can rent them.
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, but
Might be something to try on the next trip. So this bank here, probably our biggest climb each day. This takes you back up to the coffee corner and the bubble tea van and the main restaurant. This incline on here can be quite difficult, especially for those of you who may struggle with mobility. There isn't any other way to get up, unfortunately, so just bear that in mind. This area here is also the location for the Turkish a la carte on an evening, which is between 6:30 and 9. It's got raised seating area, and some of the seats behind us where the snack bar was located are converted into the Turkish a la carte. Seating can be difficult on an evening for some of the shows because they are quite popular. There is entertainment on most evenings. There's a kids club every day except a Sunday, I do believe, which must be when the entertainment's team. Everything's really well signposted, telling you where they are. So we've shown you where the fitness bar is and the shops are. The Italian and the Turkish a la carte are that way, and the Asian and the Pine Bar. This area here is the Amphitheatre, so it's where some of the kids clubs run from here every night. Kids disco, mini disco games, and some of the performances that are on throughout the day take place on this stage. Again, as you can see by the size of it, it can be hard to get a seat, especially with the number of people that are here, and based on the fact that it is a seated system, tiered system. If you do have some mobility, it can be a bit of a problem. So again, toilets, there's quite a lot of toilets located throughout the grounds, cleaned regularly, really well, constantly keeping on top of them. Again, another information board telling you what's on, usually a big poster of whatever night's entertainment it is. And this section here, this year we've only noticed it open once, is that right?
Twice, I think.
Twice. So in our 10-day stay, this bar we've only seen open twice. It tends to be the location for a karaoke. But as I say, it was a bit disappointing this year. We wanted to come down on 2 occasions and it wasn't open. So we're not sure whether this is just because of capacity in the hotel. But again, it's got some nice padded seating area. However, it does get very, very loud and it is very, very warm in this bit here. Again, just to mention, only steps to access it down, so it could be quite difficult. Coming across one of the communal toilet areas. Regularly cleaned, always kept tidy, well maintained. We're going to head up a short flight of stairs. It'll take you to one of the pool areas. So again, it's manned by a lifeguard between 9 and 5. This area is quite well suited to families because it provides a little bit of shade. The pool isn't too deep. Got a lovely waterfall feature. One of the things we've never done is sit up in this area.
No.
We've never really chose the pool as an option. It's always been the jetty. I think for us personally, it's due to the fact that you've usually got a constant breeze. Especially in the intense season heat. Up here, if there's no wind, you will feel that heat difference. Very shady up this way as well. As you can see, we're just after 7 AM and there's lots and lots of towels out. So there isn't a set rule in terms of sunbed allocation. But if you do want to be down next to the water, you know, as a family, you do need to be up a little bit early to grab a bed. Prime spots right next to the water. What I'd also say is that the difficulty with that is that if you're not going to use the beds, just take your towels away. There are ample. Into the bar area up here as well, so you don't need to go all the way down to the pine bar or the main bar to get your drinks. We're getting a changing room. Oh, what's this one? I forgot about this. So this is the plunge area from the slide. So there is a slide facility which you need to climb up that massive lot of stairs, all the way up, come down, and you drop into this plunge area. That's the new addition as well this year. So all these rooms you can see here as classed as the bungalows. Shady between the trees. Haven't had a mosquito problem as such this year, have we?
No.
Lots of people
said that it was mating season, so the mosquitoes, but we didn't really get any.
No, I think I was bitten once, twice, and I think it was actually when we were out rather than when we were in the hotel. This area here is a kids club. So you can access this if they're between the ages of 4 and 12. So you've got 10 till 12:30 and 2:30 till 5:30. Again, it's just letting people know that the adults, you can't just drop them off and leave them. It's not a babysitting service. And remember to come and pick your child up. I know a lot of us would like to leave them here longer. Got a new little castle area that's brand new this year. Pool depth here is quite shallow, so again, if you've got a young child who's maybe not as confident swimmer and you want to get them to grips with swimming, it's an ideal location. We'll say it's ruddy freezing. Again, with our kids not being as old, it's not something we've accessed down here, but I imagine access to this service can be quite popular. So if you are thinking about bringing a little one down, it does obviously advise that you stay with them for the session. You know, you don't go too fast. So as an adult, you can grab a lounger down here, just so you can keep a close eye on them. But it's not something that we've either needed to access or even access because ours are a little bit older. Showers here as well, so you can keep showered and cool. And then again, up some like small inclines to get back to the walkways, past the stairs for the slide.
And then up here as well, you have the mini golf and the table tennis.
It is table tennis, yeah. Again, it's not a booked service, it's just a case of turning up, and if there's nobody on it, you can use it.
I think you have to rent the clubs from the kids' club.
You do. The slide's open from 11 till 1 and then again from 3 till 5. It's padlocked up until that point. Again, so if the little ones or yourself want to explore the slide area, you can. you've got a random castle. Never quite known what this is about, but it sits there, quite prominent. Not sure whether it opens up. As you can see there, you've got your mini golf. You've got some hidden mini pools. They're not very deep, and it leads into the main family waterfall pool. But there are some shaded sun lounges there, so if you do prefer the shade, that's an ideal location. Quite a lot of steps in this section as well. So for those of you bringing pushchairs and buggies, it can be quite difficult. If you are located in the bungalows, our personal suggestion would be going back up to your main lobby and then using the main walkway rather than up and down on the stairs all the time with pushchairs. But as you can see, you've got table tennis tables. Sometimes there's music, sometimes there's not. There is a radio system in place. If you're on the jetty, you can't really hear it, so it's very hard, but there is, you know, minimal music in the background. And then this is the entrance to the show arena. So you come down from the stone bar, make your way down to the bottom pools, and you've got your little entrance into your show arena. So that's where all of that amphitheatre is. Up on the main pool area here, you have a showering facility, you have a changing facility, and then you have the main pool. Again, this is really, really popular with a lot of the families. Yesterday, for example, there was a huge pool party that went on there, usually sporadically throughout the day. But as you can see, the pool depth's a little bit deeper here, but it's one of the most popular pools. Again, I think probably for its location in terms of where everything is to access in the hotel. But if you want to have a bed, you better get down early. Again, this pool area is open between 9 and 5 officially. A lot of people are down well before that, but I think it's more for the lifeguard facility. And then you've got all of the things around the hotel, the policies, their missions, things that are certified in, so things like health and safety, greener spaces. It's just nice to see if you're interested in finding out how about that. You'll find bins for all of your plastic and recyclables located throughout, so they try and be as sustainable as possible. Your balcony rooms from your hotel, so if you're in the main building, those are your sea facing rooms. Morning! Tell Dave he's up at 11. So the guys that you can see there actually booked their holiday based on our last vlog. So it's really interesting to see that they're here. We are going to have a little bit of a chat with Dave later on, so probably inserted about here is Dave's view and opinion of the hotel. So as we mentioned in our vlog, this is Dave from Doncaster, and he's come across to Turkey. Based on what, Dave? What brought you here to Turkey?
On your YouTubes. I thought they were very good.
Did you find what we sort of showed you a true reflection of how you found the hotel?
Definitely. That's what was so impressive. The detail you went into. And then when we arrived, it was perfect for that.
How many times would you say you watched the video before you came?
Oh, at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, and when you watched it each time, did you pick up like different bits of things that you'd maybe not seen the previous times?
Yeah, because I'm so specific for detail. And I brought my family, so I wanted it perfect for those.
Yeah. Age range between your family, so got your granddaughter, I think it is?
That's 13.
13. Lily? Yeah, so Lily's 13, similar to our son. So again, I think a really important factor is when booking a holiday based on families is that it suits the whole party, really.
That's right.
Is there anything you've found for Lily specifically that worked well? You know, having a young child with you. She's not a baby, but she's not quite an adult.
She loves the music. The music is brilliant.
Entertainment and stuff.
But you've got choice of different amount of pools.
Uh-huh.
You've got the choice of the sea, which is lovely. This jetty, which is lovely. So it's perfect for her.
Fab. And as the adults in the party, what have you enjoyed the most out of the hotel?
Well, the main thing, especially with my wife, it's got to be good food.
Yeah.
And this here, you're spoilt for choice. And everything's really good.
Have you been down for all of the meal sittings, so the breakfast, the lunch and the evening meal?
Yes, but the heat here, you just can't eat all the time. So you end up missing certain meals.
Yeah. But what you have experienced, you've really enjoyed?
Yes.
And then have you tried the snack bar? What did you think of the snack bar that's based down here at the jetty?
I think that's one of the best things.
Open a lot. I mean, good hours of opening. Starts
Yeah.
at 12 and then until 3. Which means you can pick a snack up.
Yeah, basic snaps. Well, that's really good for all of us, all the family.
Yep. So if you were going to recommend this hotel as a first-time attender to anybody else, what would your general review be?
I think it's perfect for all families. The only one downside to it is it's quite hilly. So if you've got bad legs, it is hilly for those.
Challenge.
Yeah.
that's
Anything else, perfect.
We've found that a little bit this time, haven't we? We've tried to stress that a little bit because I think as somebody who's had a knee operation, and I suffer with my knees as well, I think the banks can be quite a challenge, especially later in the day, and there's quite a lot of steps.
Yeah.
So, what about your accommodation? Are you in the main hotel or are you in one of the bungalows?
Yes, we're in the main hotel.
What's
The
your
first
views on the
floor.
room?
The room is perfect, spotlessly clean, good sea view.
Yes.
Yeah. The staff is fantastic.
Yeah.
Clean,
Housekeeping
spotless.
staff are
Yeah.
really good, yeah.
Very
Thorough.
good. Thorough as anything.
And I think the good thing around, coming for a first time, is it somewhere you think you would return again?
Oh yeah, definitely return.
We'll be finding them on YouTube and coordinating. We'll do a joint tube vlog this time next year. But it's been lovely chatting with you. Hope you have a lovely... How many days have you got left now?
One full day left.
We've got an extra 24 hours on us. Well, it's been lovely meeting you. Thank you very much for sharing your opinions. And
Thank you.
again, if anybody else has been and wants to comment what their opinions were on the hotel in the comments below, please do so. That would be fab to hear. But as Keith said earlier, we've had so many people approach us, which is great. It's lovely. Everybody's opinion is their own. But I think we try and be as honest and upfront as we can. As we've said, we do feel like this year there's a few things that need a little bit of improvement, a little tweaking here and there.
We have found that due to the fire issue, a lot of the staff have gone elsewhere. So a lot of the staff who are working here have only been working for like 3-4 weeks. So they're quite new to it and their English is quite minimal as such.
Yeah.
So they can sort of do some understanding, but then to do it further you have to use like Google Translate or whatever. So Hamil, the guy we saw on the jetty, we do that with him. So we use Google Translate and then...
And again, it's not an ideal situation. We would prefer to be able to speak in Turkish as well. I did do a little bit of training on Duolingo, not a prompt or not a supported member, but what we're saying is that, it works both ways. Have a bit of understanding for the fact that quite a lot of the staff team here are quite new. Hamel, Jan, and some of the team here have been here for many, many seasons, but due to the fire, a lot of them went elsewhere for work, and we've found that a lot of the team that are here now are very young. So just have a little bit of patience, have a little bit of understanding. They're working in really hot conditions, trying to give you the best holiday, but it is to be mindful. There's less English-speaking staff than definitely in the last vlog, which can cause some problems, especially when you're trying to articulate what you're wanting. And without, doing that talking very slowly, we don't need to do that. We just need to have them a bit more time. That's one of the things we've noticed this year. It's a bit of a shame because I think sometimes for a hotel that's this size, having those key staff return really does just set the standard, and it makes people like ourselves, like these returning families, feel at home straight away. When we arrived over a week ago now, we were greeted by some familiar faces, which instantly puts you at ease. And the fact that they remember us is really, really good, because it's very busy to be doing this all year and remember all the thousands of people that come through. We've also found this year that there are less and less English families using the hotel.
Yeah, the hotel staff said that as well. A lot of the people who are at the hotel at the moment are Turkish, and then I think some German.
Yeah.
But then due to the time of year in the UK, I think it might be picking up a bit. But even a lot of the shops, they were saying like it's been very quiet this season for them.
Yeah, so we got chatting to a few of our colleagues and friends down in Icmeler main town centre, and they were saying, like, in terms of what they used to see and what they're seeing this year, it's very, very different. The Rara people do have worries and concerns about coming to any country. I hope by giving the reviews we give and the perspective that we give, you can see that we try and be as honest and upfront as we can be. Staff here are very, very accommodating. There's no intimidation, there's no pressure. Again, there's no sales here because you are all inclusive, so you can just enjoy your whole holiday for what it is. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else we haven't covered in this vlog.
I don't know. I think that obviously the minor things, like obviously the jetty floor and then the sort of staff turnover. That was our main issues, really.
Yeah. What I will say is Keith's done a separate room review of. We've done a separate room review of both the room we're in now and the room we were given when we arrived. So when we arrived, shall we just move down a little bit? It is a little bit warm. I think it's about 40 degrees and it's only 7:30. We arrived on a Monday, sort of Sunday, early hours of Monday morning, and we found that we were given a room in the main hotel. Now, for many people, they'd be like, that's amazing. You know, it's ideal for location. It's ideal for, you know, accessibility, especially with things like the lifts. We have obviously stayed in the bungalows on all of our previous trips. So we've... just get down the seat. Sit down on here. We've stayed in the bungalows on all of our visits. And when we were told we were in the hotel, we didn't know what to expect, really. We were located on the second floor. And Keith's done the review, and I'm sure he'll probably put some bits in to show people. Might be a separate one. But we definitely found that the size of the rooms in the hotel were much smaller. So
the videos for the room sizes, you'll be able to see when you go in the hotel one, you have in the main room like the single bed, there's a little bit of a gap in the double bed and a little bit of a gap. There's no drawers on the other side of the double bed where I normally sleep, so I had nowhere to put my glasses, and then there's only a little bit of a wall and that was it. Whereas in the bungalows you have a unit at the side of your bed, so a small room, so we can actually fit another suitcase in there. So we found the rooms were much bigger in the bungalows. They are slightly more outdated because they are older rooms, and obviously I think all of the rooms inside of the hotel have had a revamp due to the fire because there was smoke damage, especially like in the main reception and stuff like that. They've had new curtains and the new pipes installed for the sprinklers. So the new rooms in the hotel are more premium because they're more up to date. However, we found they were smaller than the bungalows.
I think it depends on what you come in. If you come in as a couple, if they'd just been Keith and I, you know, that hotel room in the main foyer probably would have been more than ample. Again, you couldn't have had any upset around it. It'd have been suffice. But if you come in as a family, sharing a twin or a double standard with a single in, it can be quite cramped. We've obviously come with our parents and our girls, so they've got a family room, and their family room, even in the hotel main area, was so much smaller. It was very cramped. There was no spaces between the beds, and unfortunately we were located directly above the boiler room, which provided a constant source of noise. The hotel were relatively accommodating. They couldn't change us immediately because it was sort of 1, 2 in the morning, and that's advised us to come down and speak to them in the morning, which
we ended up speaking to the Jet2 Rep, and because them having the language of the English and the Turkish, it was so much easier just to do it that way rather than trying to get the staff on the reception to figure out what we were doing in English.
Yeah, that's a big thing as well. Obviously, we showed you that reception lobby area. Last year, there was multiple staff able to speak English, so therefore communication was so much more effective. This year, it's very, very minimal. And the evening staff, unfortunately, we feel don't have the skills, especially on a check-in process, to understand what we were saying or the questions they were asking us. They were asking around allergies, which is great. But if we'd said anything like that, I don't know whether they would have fully understood. They didn't really understand why we wanted to be moved from what they feel is a premium room to a bungalow. One of the biggest areas that the Jet2 Rep was trying to stress to us was that the room we were getting was much more expensive, and it was a better quality of room. What we were saying was sometimes as a family, you may be needing the space over the mod cons. In terms of what we saw, in terms of mod cons, there wasn't anything different to the bungalows other than the fact there was a fresh lick of paint, some fresh curtains.
And then in the hotel itself, you got like your toiletries, so there's like a wash bag and
Yeah.
all the stuff like that, whereas in the bungalows...
Your
you
free
don't get
bottle of
that.
shampoo and conditioner, but they're all located. That's a good thing in all of the rooms. You don't need to worry about toiletries. There is a 2-in-1 hair and body wash, and there's a separate conditioner. They provide you with like your earbuds. You've got... They will, in the hotel, they do provide you with like a dental kit. So you don't even need to bring your toothbrush because they get them. But if you're in the bungalows, those aren't provided. But it's always worthwhile that if you did forget, you could just go and ask at reception. I'm sure they would provide you with it. In the rooms, all of the rooms, you've got your little mini fridge, which on arrival is stocked with 1 beer, 1 Sprite, 1 Fanta, 1 Pepsi and water. And the water is replaced every day. The alcohol and the soft drinks aren't, they're only on arrival. So the first day you arrive, you'll find those.
So once you drink that 1 can, then that's it.
That's it, gone.
But obviously, you get your free drinks in here anyway.
You can take drinks up to the room as well. So if you ask at any of the bars, they will give you them. It will be in a plastic glass, plastic cup, but they will provide you with alcohol to take up to your room should you need to or want to.
That's what we were doing on the night time. So when we finish, we'd go get a cola just to take up to the room, just so we had a cold drink.
Yeah, but your fridges work to keep. So again, if you want to pop off site and buy some things to have in the fridge, you can. Trying to think of other sort of things that people might be asking. So drop in the comments below, drop anything that you think we haven't covered. We'll probably be able to ask it, answer it here for you.
Someone had asked on the other video if there is a beach nearby. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there is. I think further along there's some beaches, but they belong to the other hotels. If you want to go on an actual beach rather than the gravel here, you'll have to go to Icmeler or Marmaris to get access to a beach.
And a lot of the beaches that are in Icmeler are usually located either within a bar or attached to a bar. So it'll be a case of you'll get your sun lounger free, but only if you purchase a drink. There doesn't seem to be a free area of public beach in Icmeler. I'm not sure what it's like in Marmaris because we haven't been down. One of the things we did do on this trip is we went on the Turtle Beach boat trip. Now, we didn't create a separate vlog for that, did we?
No.
What we'd found was that it was organised through an external excursion company. We paid a reasonable price and we went on that. Now, in terms of what you think when you think of Turtle Beach, our girls thought they were going to be swimming with turtles. I thought we'd be seeing turtles on a beach.
That was the assumption, that we would sort of go there. There'd be a big beach, there'd be loads of turtles, and then you'd be able to see them there.
Yeah.
And then on the boat over, they were offering some food so you could feed them. And some people were like, "Oh, man, we're going to feed the turtles and stuff." And then the people had said, when we get to the spot, the turtles will be on the boat, then you can feed them. But then when we actually got there, it was not that at all. The turtles were in the ocean, you were in the boat, and you could see them from the boat in the ocean.
And on our trip, we saw 2. And we were one of about 15 boats trying to see these 2 turtles swimming.
It was kind of like they would shout turtle and then
Everybody
drive the boat towards it.
Yeah. It's not, it wasn't, it's quite, can be quite misleading. So please don't hype yourself up thinking I'm going to have a surfs up moment like in Finding Nemo. It's definitely not like that. You're not hand feeding these turtles. You're not even able to touch the turtles, which again, in terms of the ecosystem and things, is probably a good thing, but it isn't what it's sort of portrayed to be.
It was like we spent 2 hours on a big boat.
Travelling to the location to get put into a smaller boat.
We stopped off once on the big boat to swim in the sea.
Yeah.
And then we went to the smaller boat at the Turtle Beach, which then took us over to the beach itself where the turtles lay the eggs. They have the cages up so not to disturb the eggs and stuff. I think it was 10 euro or 15 euro to hire a sunbed there, but you were only there an hour. So we went swimming in the sea. Which
was great, we really enjoyed that. Might insert a bit of wild GoPro motion here, because it was wild. Really refreshing though, and much needed after spending 2 and a bit hours on a larger boat in excessive heat. That larger boat, again, it's an independent family run firm. It was advised to us by an excursion company. Be mindful.
And you get a food in with it, like a meal, but you have to pay for your drinks. And the meal was pasta, salad, and chicken schnitzel,
chicken
which is
schnitzel.
just a big chicken nugget, really.
Again,
there was an option for VIP,
yeah,
which was
300 lira per person to upgrade to VIP. Now, what that gave you was access to an air-conditioned room on the boat and the shaded section of the boat. So for those of you travelling with small children or even older people who are going to need the shade, it's worthwhile bearing that into mind when you're budgeting to do that, and that's very usually applicable with most of these boat trips. They will offer that as a premium. You don't get anything extra in terms of drinks or food. All you get though is access to a shaded section.
I think the food though, instead of getting that chicken schnitzel, you get an actual grilled bit of chicken. Because when I saw that coming out, I was like, oh, that should be fine.
He thought he was going to have his meat a moment, but it didn't happen.
And then when it came to the point where we to get our food, we got it, and it was just...
It was a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not a reflection on the hotel because it's an independent excursion, but be mindful. The boat trips that are run from here, Mehmet, who runs those on the boat stand, who we showed you earlier, he can offer you certain trips, but I'm not sure that that is an option for him. You'd have to travel further into Icmeler and Marmaris to book that.
There's the Rep will also do tours and trips and stuff.
Safari Jeep,
so I think it was, you can get a private boat that can take you out to the swimming spots and stuff like that, and I think that was 320
for 15 people.
However, a couple who we met here booked it independently. It was only £200, so it was £120 extra to book up with the Rep than book it with someone in here.
We are being objective here, and what we're saying is just shop around. Don't jump in straight away when you get here. Take the time to wander away from the hotel grounds to see what's available. Be mindful that, think about what you're wanting from your excursions. You know, the Safari Jeep excursion, for example, through the hotel is about £80 for 2 people. Booked independently and on your own, it's £22 per person. So especially if there's a lot of you travelling, it's worthwhile contacting these companies independently. They'll usually always offer a shuttle bus service, so somebody will come pick you up. If you are going on any of the excursions that are run through Jet2 or the Reps here, you're picked up from the main gate. So the thing with the hotel here is it's a secure hotel, so it's a gated community. You have to drive up or walk up to the top for any of your excursion pickups. They don't come down to the main reception. You'll only be collected from the main reception for your transfers. The coaches and the minibuses will bring you right the way down to the door and collect you from the door. But in terms of external excursions, you need to make your way right up to the main gate.
And the other thing is, if you require data or phone things, and it's quite expensive to get it from the UK, there's someone called Chucky.
Chucky Marmaris.
So you never know, he might be having a knife brand and trying to catch her and stuff. But they provide a wireless dongle with a SIM card in, and it was £40, I think.
£40 for 10 nights, unlimited data, and we were able to access 6 devices to it. Definitely worthwhile in terms of, instead of adding a data package on a UK trip.
So they've got Wi-Fi here. Sometimes it's a bit rubbish, it's a bit flaky, sometimes it doesn't connect, sometimes it's very slow, especially on the jetty. There's, I think if you need a lifeguard station, it's quite good.
Yep.
The hotel rooms, ours was good in the bungalows. So we were on this side of the hotel, but then the family room on this side of the hotel with our daughters, the Wi-Fi wasn't that good.
Yep.
So it depends on where you are in the hotel. But then this Wi-Fi dongle with the SIM card in was just amazing. So everywhere we went, we had signal,
Yep.
we could use it. It was fast, unlimited, and we connected multiple devices.
Yep.
We were told up to 6, but we had more than that, and it didn't slow it down. Didn't drop off connections, nothing like that.
So if you need one of those, drop Chucky a message on the Facebook page that's run through the hotel. That's another thing to mention. I'm not sure everybody knows. There's a closed group on Facebook. It's not run by ourselves. We're not affiliated with it in any way. But it's a great little forum for sharing things like what's going on tonight, we're arriving on Tuesday, when's the white party.
So that's when someone had posted in about the mosquitoes,
yes,
saying it was really bad and they were getting quite bit. But then when we got here, it wasn't. So unless they've had the mating season and gone, or
we're just not tasty enough for the mozzies in Turkey. One thing I think we would say definitely this time is that we've learned things around the meals and eating times. So what time to go down, to try and avoid the crowds. We have come end of July, beginning of August this time. So you have got a lot more people here because of holidays and school holidays. Meal times can be quite hectic. Us great Brits love to queue. Not everybody does. We've seen that as an increased issue this time.
Yeah, like you stood in the queue and someone goes past, gets a plate from somewhere else, and then just jumps in, gets some stuff, jumps in and then goes, rather than waiting in the queue with everyone else to just sort of
dip in. We are a nation of queuers, taking our turn and waiting on most occasions, but it can become quite frustrating. And there's always ample food, so there's no really need, but the staff and the hotel don't man that. I think, again, culturally, it's just a difference that we have. And trying to be mindful around that, around the sunbeds as well. Sometimes we found that people have just come along and moved people's towels. Again, it's frustrating. We've had the same situation where we found like those beds have been empty for 6 hours and nobody's been on them. Why couldn't we have sat on them, for example? But again, that happens all over. Trying to think anything else. We've mentioned beds, we've mentioned towels, we've mentioned all the other services in the hotel.
Yeah, and then we've got some videos on the channel as well from Andy's Wardrobes, Yaman Shoes, and then some shorts from other places and stuff, so like I think it was Best Bargain Buys and a few other shops, so you can sort of see the items they have and the prices. But then again, it's always good to sort of have a look around and see what's what. So I think last year the shoes were about £30 each, now we're down to 20, and then the same with the hoodies and stuff. It's like you can get some bargains. The more you buy, the cheaper it gets.
Yeah, and don't be frightened to, barter. They'll take all sort of currency as well. They really prefer the English pound or the lira. We've found a few times on this holiday, people are reluctant to use your travel card. So if you've brought like a Hayes travel card or a Revolut card, they're finding that quite difficult to accept at the moment due to the high charges that they're receiving at their end.
And then I think we went to the bank to draw out some money, and it's a 30%
commission charge.
So if you draw out £100, you draw out 130 technically.
I think it's just bearing in mind to bring the currency with you. Again, even bringing English and converting to lira here, you're probably better conversion rate. But again, if you are wary of travelling with cash, just be mindful to factor in the fact that you probably need to pay a commission to withdraw it when you're here. And some shops will say no to card transactions purely because of the costs that they're incurring. Transfer times are reasonable still. We got on a private transfer, so we were here in an hour and 40. I think the coach transfer used through your holiday service is anything up to 2 hours, depending on how many drops you've got. Again, for the price, I think it is worthwhile getting the private transfer. Jet2 offer that, or you could independently source somebody like Chucky who offers that service. There are many, many more here in Icmeler. And again, that would give you a little bit more time. But it's not vast. You're not gaining hours, you're gaining minutes, really. But it's the convenience of being...
And the comfort, I think.
Yeah, comfort. Comfort, air-conditioned, convenience. And again, it's sometimes just a little bit easier, especially if you're travelling in a large party. But other than that, I would say we've enjoyed ourselves again. Absolutely. Kids all want to book to come back next year. It's credit to the hotel. It's a good indication. Our third trip, will we be making it our fourth? Let's wait and see.
But like we said, there's like 5 different people that have seen the previous video and booked it because they're here while we are actually here, and they're being happy with it as well. So I suppose that speaks for everything for the hotel.
Yeah, and Dave's little thing you heard earlier, I hopefully is all really, really positive. Everybody we spoke to has been really positive, and it's lovely to see that that's the way it's going. So
yeah. And then we spot people, we're talking to them, and then 1 minute turns into 10, and turns into an hour, then an hour and a half, and then they get them wrong because they said they were gone for 2 minutes.
Dave, Leah, sorry we kept the boys for a little bit longer. We like to chat if you haven't gathered, because this vlog's probably about 2 hours nearly. But keeps you busy. Something to do with your Sunday evening when you're Google searching for holidays for the next year. But yeah, it's a lovely, lovely place. We love it here. Definitely one of our top favourite places to have been. If you had been, you know yourself, you're not going to keep returning if there's too many flaws. I think a lot of it is just wear and tear, age related. But we have met people who have been to bigger franchises, the Milton in Dalaman, and we're...
Milton.
Milton. And they weren't as impressed as what they've been here. So sometimes it's not always about a name, it's about finding these smaller, independent sort of groups of hotels.
And then someone had also said they'd been to the Turban, which
Yes.
also was sister company of this, and they said they wouldn't pay the extra money for there because they preferred it here.
Yeah.
And the food was better here.
Yeah.
And then every night there's a different thing for everyone. It's not the same like beef every night. It's like sometimes beef, chicken, turkey one night as
Lamb.
well, lamb,
Yeah.
kebab. So it's like your meats are different, and then you got different things, like we had chicken korma one night, and then lasagna.
Or teriyaki chicken.
Teriyaki chicken. There's a lot of variety. There's hopefully something there for everyone, even if you're picky like me, or try everything like that.
Be mindful it's a Muslim country, so there's very minimal pork because of their religious beliefs. But again, if you...
We went to Reflections Bar yesterday, and the two of us got full English breakfast and had proper sausages and bacon.
And again, the guy there is really accommodating, offered great service, cheap, cheerful. You know, for a family of 7, eating out, it can be quite expensive. That's the only meal.
280 lira for a litre stein of beer. I think it was
180 for a large Fanta.
350 lira for the breakfast. Or there's a double the size one for 800, but then you just buy 2 for 700.
There are some deals to be had. There's some deals to be had when you're out and about.
They also had a bottomless brunch.
Yes, they did.
Which was £15 per person. You get any food. So there was pizzas included, sandwiches, I think.
Toasties, paninis, breakfast was included.
Then you get
unlimited soft drinks for 15.
Non-alcoholic drinks, so soft drinks, non-alcoholic beers. That was £15. I think it was £13 for the alcohol side, and you got your food as well. And that was for 2 hours drinking. So
worthwhile shopping about though, but we've never felt the need. Last night's the first time we've eaten out on all of our trips.
Yeah, I've been to the British Bar in Icmeler.
British Bar's great.
Twice, 3 times?
3 times.
3 times. Because Tommy, the bartender in there, used to work here. So that's why we went there to see him. Again, it was nice to see him, but again, very welcoming, very accommodating, really lively. There's new rules here in Turkey as well. So if you have been a seasoned traveller, and you're probably already aware, music regulations now, everything has to be turned off at midnight. So you've not really got to worry about any loud music. And the fireworks display that used to happen in Marmaris doesn't happen anymore. The dancing fountain still does, but there's no fireworks and things like that. So it's all sort of tamed down a little bit. I think it's just to accommodate all of the people that are travelling. But yeah, it'll be lovely to think we could be back here next year. Another year older, Pet. Another year older, another year wiser. Sampling, again, the same things that's going on. That'll be 20 years.
Sure, 20 years. Anyway, if you want to keep up to date with anything else we've got going on the Rara and Beardy channel, we'd love it if you could give us a link to the subscribe button, click and like the like button, and ring the bell for notifications.
And leave a comment if you're thinking about going. If you've been here because of our previous video or this video, let us know as well. And then any other questions or queries, drop them below and
we'll get back to you as soon as we can. But for now, here's to another family holiday over and done with. Signing out. Bye.